Okay. So you kind of like did a taping over, yes. So it was kind of off a little bit, like audio wise.
So like I didn't have a video at all, so I just released audio like on Spotify.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not bad then.
So that was like that made things a little bit easier. But one time I lost the audio, and that thankfully I was like for my best friend's podcast, so I didn't mind just redoing it. Mm-hmm. But that one you can't really redo because honestly, all the podcast, like what makes a podcast good is the audio for the most part. Yeah. So if you don't have the like good audio, then it's like it doesn't.
Aww.
Make sense,
that's rough.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. Oh my gosh.
No, definitely not. I've learned for sure.
Your friend wasn't able to make it today?
No, he actually broke his leg. Or not broke his leg. He tore his patella tendon.
Oh my god.
So he's a little handicapped right now. But we're trying to get him. He has surgery on Monday, so hopefully he can start like making it out.
Oh, well, blessings to that. That stings. Yeah. Oh. I just watched sorry to like kind of compare, but no, I just watched Iron Claw with Zac Efron, and their family went through a lot. Have you heard of it? It's like the wrestling movie.
Iron Claw. Mm-hmm. I haven't. No, it just came out.
It just came out with Zac Efron. He looks like super buff because he is like on steroids or something. I don't know. But yeah, dude, it just talks about this family. It's a true story. Yeah. About this family who was like wrestling and stuff, and they just had so much bad luck, like amputated foots and broken plates and everything. Like, poor family. Sorry.
Yeah,
like,
no, you're good.
No bad omens to the surgery. I'm sorry, but I was just thinking of that because I just saw it the other day. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're actually live right now.
Hey, what's up?
I know. I always forget to kind of like just like give a little like intro,
it's a little surprise.
Yeah, this is episode 26. Episode 26 of the most vulnerable.
You sent me 27, and I was excited about that because I was like, 7's my lucky number. But
really?
It's okay. 26 is
okay. So the thing is, it was gonna be 27. Mm-hmm. However, we had a cancellation yesterday, so we had to But
cool.
I mean,
26 is cool.
It happens. I guess it's just meant to happen. I guess like that. You actually performed. So I need to give it a better intro.
Yes.
So your name is Alizeé. Okay. Mm-hmm. What's your last name?
Guzman.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I just knew you by Alizeé just because like your Instagram.
It's like my little stage name.
Yeah. Ali Stars, is that how you say it?
Ali Stars, yes. Okay, I've had that name since 7th grade. Me and my friend created a YouTube channel, and her name was Jen Bubbles, and mine was Ali Stars. Wow. I don't know why, I just like stars. Yeah. And then I had to do the 2 Z's because everyone in middle school, we were emo. So like that was the thing, you know, when you texted the 2 Z's thing. Yes, very cool.
Yeah, that's so dope. And so you actually, so you're a singer, an artist. Do you actually like you record like your own music for the most part?
Yeah. I just look up beats on YouTube, BeatStars. I worked on like creating a beat with this guy that I met, and he's a producer. He creates beats. He's really, really talented at it, and he helped me create like a beat from scratch. Oh, wow. So that was a cool experience. But it takes a lot of time, and it's really hard since I moved to San Francisco. And I don't really trust anybody out there or haven't met anybody yet that I trust. So, right now I've been on YouTube, BeatStars.
Yeah. So when did you first start? How'd you get into music? What age did you start like making music?
Oh, my God. Since I was born. I don't know. I've just always been singing. Really? Yeah, I've always been singing. It's funny because I just recently found a notebook where I was writing letters to Hannah Montana. And I actually posted that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it? Yeah. And it was just letters to Hannah Montana. And I was like, "Dear Hannah, I want to be a pop star just like you, and a singer and an actress and a dancer." So and I was like, I think that was when I was like 7. But yeah, even before that, I was just always singing. When I realized that I wanted to do it seriously, I remember I heard one of those things on the radio where they say, "Do you want to be the next Disney star?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I want to be like Hannah Montana." Yeah. And so they would tell you to go to this hotel, and, you know, there was a bunch of kids that would go and they would do their thing. It was for singing, acting, and modeling. Okay. And I asked my mom if I can go to it. And that was like my first little performance. I was like 7. Yeah. And that's when I was like, yeah, this is kind of what I want to do for the rest of my life. It ended up being a scam because they asked my parents for money at the end, but you know, it was a cool experience regardless. Yeah. So don't trust those hotel radio thingies. I don't know.
And it was a local one?
It was here in El Paso. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Like the Hilton Hotel or something.
Yeah. And you actually performed this past Thursday I wish I could have made it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, it was like a random. I mean, it was a Thursday. It was like the middle of the week. Like,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
How was that? Because there's a lot of like really good like local talent there.
Oh yeah, there were so many local artists that went. Very very talented local artists, and it was cool because I was able to meet some people that I've been wanting to meet and like see perform live. So that was really cool. Yeah. It went really good. I have just kind of realized this about myself, that I'm very hard on myself. So I think I did good, and I want to say yes, I did good, but I just always like think I could do better. So that's just something I'm currently working on with my voice and stuff.
Nah, for sure. I mean, I could definitely see that. It's just, I mean, you want the best from yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right?
I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah. And it's that self-talk that's like most important though, right?
Oh yeah. And I was really hard on myself that day. Like, I think I was definitely, that's something I'm really working on, is transforming my, like you said, my self-talk, transforming it from being not so negative to positive, like the way that I treat myself. So it's a progress, like it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's so. Do you know this is some of the local artists that I know. Do you know Cyrus? Have you ever met Cyrus? No. He was on the podcast maybe a few months ago. That's an artist. Do you know? I know Jordan Taylor. I know Jordan Taylor. I've met her. She performed at my family spot at Neep Collective. So cool. Yeah. We should definitely have you one of the like. I know you're gonna leave pretty soon, but that'd be so.
I'll be back though.
Yeah, because we have live music every Saturday.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Yes, so. I'm always looking for opportunities to perform, just to like. It's fun. Like, I love performing. It gives me more practice because I still get nervous sometimes when I go up on stage. So the more I do it, the more I know I'll feel more comfortable, and it's just so fun.
Yeah, for sure. Who else was there? I've met Genesee before.
Yes, Genesee.
I haven't talked to her too much, but I saw that she was performing as well. That's so dope.
She did great, and she had background dancers too. Really? So that's something I want to try doing too, because it just like it enhances the performance a lot.
For sure. That's so awesome. And it was at Lowbrow?
It's at Lowbrow, which is so beautiful. Have you been there before? It's a really great venue. Yeah, like the stage, the lighting, everything about it. I was really impressed. Yeah.
So how do you feel about the music scene here in El Paso?
I like it. Like, for me, for a while, it was a little bit discouraging because I wasn't seeing artists outside of rappers, which isn't a bad thing. But for me, like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't seeing a lot of people outside of being rappers, you know? So when it came to like networking things or wanting to collab with other people that were singers, it was hard for me. Now I'm starting to see more, like I'm meeting Jordan Taylor, I'm meeting Genesee. So now I'm starting to see a rise, you know, but yeah. But nothing against rappers. Rappers are cool too, but sure. You know.
No, you want to see people like more, I mean, if they're not women, definitely just more
especially
people.
Women artists, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so dope. Do you feel like everybody's like pretty supportive of one another? Like,
yeah, for sure. Like, it's definitely its own little community. Even when we were getting ready for the performance on Thursday, just the group chat and everybody hyping each other up, singing each other's lyrics in the group chat, like it's definitely really, really a really nice community for sure. Yeah, it's just I think it's just difficult to sometimes get the support of all of El Paso when it comes to promoting and marketing. It's kind of hard to market, and I think that's something we're still trying to navigate a little bit, is how to really extend outside of the music realm when it comes to people coming to our shows. But yeah, I think it's something that needs a little bit of work, but we're getting there for sure.
I don't think, like, I think El Paso does support local, but I feel like it could be so much better.
Definitely. Yeah,
in my opinion, we
had a good turnout at the show, but I think it was definitely more it was also expensive though, so I understand. I don't know, it's like difficult because I feel that we do deserve a good turnout when it comes to how we're marketing ourselves and how much we think we deserve, because like, you know, we've worked really hard on our stuff, we've invested a lot in our stuff, but El Paso's cheap, you know, like you know, we understand that it's really expensive too at the same time, like, so we're still trying to like figure that out. But I think for the most part though, El Paso does a good job about supporting each other when it comes to, I don't know, just even reposting. That's like a small thing that I think a lot of people here do, and commenting, saying that, hey, you're gonna do great. I got a lot of text messages saying, hey, you're gonna do great, and even just that means a lot. So I think we do a really great job with that.
Those little like just messages are everything, right? What does it feel like to perform in front of like a live audience?
It feels I don't know. It's kind of hard to put into words. For me, right now, the reason why I'm in San Francisco is because I am studying expressive arts therapy. So it's psychology integrated with music, dance, creative writing, theater, art, you know?
Oh, wow.
So it's just all of these aspects that isn't just traditional verbal talk therapy. And so I know a lot of people, including myself, really benefit from expressing themselves through the arts, not just through talking to one another. And so that's how I feel when I'm on stage. I feel that's just the way that I'm really able to express who I am, be who I am, feel comfortable with who I am, through my lyrics, through just being on stage, through connecting to people with music as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just...
So do you really just try to like interact with, I mean, that's essentially what you're doing, is trying to interact as much as you can with the crowd, like just talking to them.
Yeah. Every time in between my songs, I try to like talk to them. I try to include them a little bit, like, hey, there's this one part in my song that maybe you guys can sing along to. This is how it goes. Let's do it, you know? Try to get them involved. I like to tell them about my experience when writing a certain song, what I was going through in writing the song. Things like that. Yeah. So it's really cool.
That's so cool. What was your first experience like? Can you describe that?
With performing?
Yeah.
When I was at the hotel doing my Disney.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, I remember I sang like Taylor Swift and I was like really into it. Yeah.
What do you think when you're little, it was less like a little less nerve-wracking?
Oh, I didn't care. Yeah, I really didn't care. My parents cared though. They tried talking me out of it because they hadn't really heard me sing. They kind of heard me just do like singing in the shower and being crazy and whatever. But I remember they tell me this all the time, that they were in the audience and that when I told them I was going to go and sing, they're like, are you sure? Like, okay. And then when I went up there, they like kind of hunched down in their chair. And then I sang and I did a good job. I did pretty decent, I think. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow. So, they were more nervous for me. But that goes away. That like feeling of not caring anymore as a child, like, or did I say that right? Like not caring? Yeah. It goes away. I definitely feel the nerves a little bit more, but it's getting better with each performance. Yeah. Dwindles just a little bit less, but it's still there.
Is there anything you do that helps you, like before?
Yeah, I do like a whole routine.
Yeah.
I like to meditate. So I'll do like breathing exercises, do yoga. I'll do like affirmations while I sleep, like I am talented, I am successful. I recently tried steaming as well, which apparently is really good for your throat. You just do like, you get like steam.
And you just like,
and you just like, I don't know, breathe it in. I don't know. Like
yeah.
I probably should have researched it a little bit more before I tried it. Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know, you have the steam. It's also good for your skin. So, try steaming. But, yeah, or just like things to prepare my voice as well. Drinking tea. Ariana Grande recommended these little vocal chewies. They're called Gressler's Pastilles. I probably didn't say that right. They're good for your throat. Yeah, I just try to take care of my voice.
Yeah. And is it hard to do that? Like, is there like a green room behind stage, or like how does that work?
For this one, there wasn't.
Yeah. Where are you guys like?
Just walking around.
Really?
Yeah, just supporting the other artists. Yeah, watching the artists. I went to another performance a few weeks before this one, and they did have their own like VIP room. I think it just depends on the venue. But yeah, just supporting the artists.
Yeah, that's so cool. What's your creative process like whenever you're writing a song? Like, take me through that. Like, how does that from like start to finish, and what goes into that?
My creative process. I actually work very well under pressure, actually.
Wow, that's good.
So what I do is whenever I come back home for the holidays, I'll typically be here for the summer. I'll be here from Thanksgiving to a little after New Year's until I have to go back for school. Because I know I'm going to be here, that's when I'm like, okay, I have to make music. In San Francisco, I don't know anybody yet that has a studio that's affordable. Yeah. And that like I trust. I'm still trying to network out there, still trying to get to know people out there. Here, I know the person, we work well together. So I know that, okay, I'm going to be home in this period of time. I need to start writing music. Yeah, which works for me because, I mean, I do get inspired here and there. Like if I listen to a certain song, I listen to a certain artist, I'll get a burst of inspiration. But sometimes I don't, you know, sometimes. And that's the hard part. The hard part is actually creating a song when I'm not motivated.
Yeah.
You know, so when I just am like, okay, this is when I'm going to be in town. This is when I have to do it. I'll even schedule like, hey, I'm going to be here this day. Let's go ahead and record.
Yeah.
So that way I think, okay, let me sit down and write, because I think I just have to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And what do you like to write about?
Right now, I kind of like writing about spirituality and positivity. That's kind of the direction I'm going in a little bit, but I'm also a little bit of a storyteller. I actually don't really write anything super, super personal. Not because I don't want to, I just think it's kind of boring for me. That's just not my creative process. Yeah. I kind of take inspiration from Melanie Martinez and how her songs aren't necessarily something personal. I mean, they might be, but to me, it kind of feels like she's writing through an alter ego, like through a child's mindset. Have you heard her songs?
Not too much, actually.
Yeah, well, her, I don't know. They don't feel personal to me. She's just like telling a story that's like interesting, you know? So I kind of like taking that direction. I used to write a lot when I was younger, like stories and novels and stuff. Not novels, but, you know, an aspiring novelist. And so I like doing that. Like something that's didn't happen to me, but like, oh, like this is somebody like going on a murder quest, or like, I don't know, like it's not that, but like something fun like that. So I have a little bit of dark themes in there. The recent songs that I have do have spiritual elements, like Speak Your Truth and Evil Eye. And
when it comes to spirituality, like where do you land in that? Like, do you practice a certain religion, or like, are you like, what is that for you?
I don't practice a religion. I feel like for me, it's very open. Like I don't have like a strict way of, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. I got introduced to spirituality like in 2019. It's like 5 years ago, I think.
Damn, already 5 years ago. That's crazy.
I know. Time goes by so fast, because I feel like I just barely started learning about this stuff.
Yeah.
But I went to a dance workshop, and I met these girls there who didn't specifically talk about that, but they just talked about how they were really in touch with their intuition, and they just were so kind. And you can just tell, like, when you meet somebody, the aura they portray. And I was at a time in my place where I was very, even more so hard on myself, very socially anxious, didn't want to talk to anybody. And I just wanted to be like that. Like, I thought everything they were talking about made sense to me. And I was like, oh my God, this like solves all my problems, you know?
And this time it was like you were in college?
I was an undergrad.
In San Francisco?
No, I was here in El Paso. I moved to San Francisco a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was here in El Paso. And I just like learned about it. After I met them, I just went home and did so much research about it. And like, I think the first thing I searched was how to be more psychic. Like, it was more for fun. Like, it wasn't really like serious. But I was like, they were talking about things like that, how coincidental things would happen to them all the time. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, I want to be like that. So I searched it, and then it wasn't super like funny and like unserious as I thought it would be. It actually told me tangible things that I could apply to my day-to-day life. Like, it talked about manifesting, the law of attraction, meditating, and the impact that it has on your mentality, transforming negative self-talk to positive self-talk. And I was like, dang, like I could do this to my life and it could actually make a difference. So it definitely changed my mentality a lot. When you talk about like, you talk about anxiety and like just things like that, what is something you've had to overcome when it comes to like mental health, and what's been your journey with that? I think what I mentioned a little bit before, I'm a really big perfectionist to the point where I overanalyze every little thing. And then that transforms into me being very negative to myself. So that was the main thing. And then because I was so negative to myself, I felt like, okay, well, there's no point in me even contributing to a conversation with other people, because I'm just going to say something dumb. Like, there's no point in me going to this event, talking to people. Like, you're just going to sound stupid. Like, don't even try.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my mentality for a really, really long time. I've always been very quiet and shy. But with spirituality and with like really just working on myself and learning more about myself, like not only through meditating, but like journaling has helped me a lot too. I've just become more comfortable in who I am, which has allowed me to be more comfortable talking and not feeling as I still get anxious for sure. Yeah. All the time. But it's easier for me to control at least a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. What would be your advice to someone who is in that position or who's been in that position? Like when you say how you felt, like just that super negative self-talk that you just just that social anxiety. If they're experiencing that, what advice would you like give them?
That's a big one. I think to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, like obviously not super uncomfortable, but I mean, exposure therapy is a thing, right? Like if you go out there and you talk to people and you put yourself in a situation that, it makes you a little bit nervous and you're scared of it, but at least you did it. Little by little, it's going to help. So I think that's what I started doing more. I competed in pageants for a little bit too, and that scared the heck out of me. And I didn't want to be there and I wanted to give up a lot. But I'm glad I did it because it was just that. Like I had to talk. I was forced to talk to people more. I was forced to go through the interview process. Not forced. I wanted to do it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think just putting yourselves in those uncomfortable situations sometimes and challenging yourself, and that helps a lot. Like it's not going to help if you're just sitting in your room and you're not talking to anybody. You're never going to get over your anxiousness and grow. It's going to be very, very difficult to do so. So yeah, just challenging myself a little bit more and doing things more and putting myself out there more has definitely helped. So I would recommend that.
Yeah, and like then are you much more aware of like just like the thoughts you have, like just the negative thoughts that you're
sometimes a little too much. Like if I think something negative, I'm like cancel, delete. Don't think that. I get like scared now. I'm definitely more aware, which is a good thing. I think like now again, like I said, journaling helps me a lot. So if I also try not to judge my thoughts. That's something else too. So if I do notice something coming up, I'll just think, okay, that's something you thought of. No judgment. I see it as like a cloud. It's just passing by. Yeah. And then I'll journal about it if I have time and remember.
Yeah. What's your meditation like? Like what are you trying to focus on, or what have you learned through meditation, and like what's your method? Because I feel like there's different ways of meditating.
Yes. Because some people can't sit still and just like do it. Like no, that's not how many people work. For me, I try to do it the first thing when I wake up. Sometimes I don't though. Sometimes I'll go on my phone and then I'll meditate. But I try to do it in the morning. I'll just do it for 10 minutes. I won't go super crazy. And I'll put on a guided meditation. So there's this one YouTube channel I really like. I think they're called Great Meditation. And I'll just put on a 10-minute one. Just sit there. Sometimes I'll lay down if I'm feeling really lazy. I like to also use my crystals too. So I get my crystals, hold them, just listen to it. And that helps me a lot too, because it's easier when you're listening to somebody talk. You're listening to the music. It feels more real too. Like it's like, I'm actually doing something right now. So I like doing that.
What do the crystals do?
What kind of crystals?
Yeah, or like what do the crystals do? Like what's the meaning behind that?
Oh, they just carry so much frequencies. They carry energy. They carry frequencies. It depends what kind you have. So if I feel that I want more abundance and prosperity, I'll get crystals that are catered towards that. So for example, citrine is very, very good for bringing in money into your life.
Oh, wow.
So if I feel like I need some money because I'm poor right now, I'll get my citrine.
Let me get some citrine.
Right, no, literally. Or if I feel that I need more self-love, that's the rose quartz. Yeah. If I feel that I'm really anxious and I want to tap into a little bit more of my spirituality, I'll get amethyst. They all have different properties inside of them. So
do you believe in astrology?
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. Heck yeah, I do. I love astrology.
What's your sign?
I'm an Aries.
Fire. So, that's what, March or April? March and April.
Yeah. I am March 29th.
Wow. Okay. Yes. So what are some of the, like, what makes you an Aries?
What makes me an Aries? Very action oriented. impatient. I do get impatient. I don't like to waste my time. I like to get things done really quickly. And yeah, I think those are like the main things that are coming for me right now.
Yeah.
But
what are some toxic things about Aries?
Impatient. Yeah. I get angry really easily sometimes. I'm moody. Yeah.
I would not get that from you.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I get moody.
So like, what would make you angry? Like, what's something that just like sets you off?
I couldn't even tell you. Like something randomly.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen super often. I think just because I've been meditating on it and controlling it and working on it. But yeah, like I'm hot-headed. Yeah, definitely. Aries are the first on the zodiac. Oh, so we're known as the children. We're the kids. Yes. Wow, okay. So it's definitely like child mentality, like, you know, which is great because there's a childlike wonder that we have towards the universe. But also there's a childlike wonder that we have towards the universe, you know, sometimes. Yeah. But I acknowledge that about myself, you know, I'm self-aware.
At least you're aware. Yeah. I'm
aware.
That's the main thing. What can you tell me about a Sagittarius?
Are you a Sagittarius? Yeah. Ooh, another fire sign. I love fire signs. Fire signs. For Sagittarius, let me see. You're able to adapt very well to any situation. Okay. So no matter what environment you're in, no matter who you meet, the type of people you're around, you're able to adapt very well to that energy, to that frequency, to the area that you're in. You love to explore, very adventurous, passionate as well. It's a fire sign, so I'm thinking of fire-like qualities. Those are the main things that I think of.
Man, that seems pretty accurate.
Is it accurate?
I think it's interesting. I don't I don't do too much research on it. But yeah, every time someone like says something about a Sag, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's crazy.
Like, yeah. Wow, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's not like completely 100%. There's so much more to you than just your sun sign. You have the rest of your chart. You have your moon. You have your Venus, your rising. There's a lot in there. So if one doesn't speak to you, like if your Sagittarius doesn't speak to you sometimes, maybe it's just because there's another part of your chart that speaks to you. And it's not necessarily like, oh, this is what it is, you know. It's more so how you intuitively are when it comes to certain things and how to work with it. And how to adapt to it sometimes. So when you notice you're a certain way, oh, maybe it's because of this. Maybe I need to work on this. Like there's also certain elements that might rule your chart. So for some people, they have more fire signs in their chart than they have water signs. So that means with water, it's very flowy, it's very empathetic, it's very considerate of other people. That's like the main traits of water signs. So because you have so much fire in your signs, maybe you need to work a little bit more on empathy and, you know, with earth signs, maybe you need to be a little bit more grounded if you don't have so much earth in you. Be more practical, reasonable, logical. Think of earth, you know? Yeah. With air, they're like in the clouds. Sometimes maybe you're in your head too much. Things like that.
No, well, that's very interesting. I never
it's
thought
cool.
About it like that.
It's really cool.
That's cool. What are some, what would you say like are just principles that you try to like what is one principle that you hold close to you that like you won't what's the word? That you won't compromise on, you know?
Like a value?
Yes, yeah.
The main thing that I think of is probably I value respect a lot. I think like even if you have differing opinions with somebody else, at the end of the day, as long as you respect someone and are able to hear them out and hear what they have to say, then that's cool. You know, you don't have to agree, but I feel like if you respect the person, that's something that I find really, really important. I think that's just the main thing for me is respect.
Do you like do you like to go out?
I like to now and then. Yeah, I don't as much anymore, but I do like to now and then. Yeah, I especially been liking some of the new bars that are coming out here in El Paso. Like Hush Hush is really cute.
Oh yeah. For sure.
I like the vibe there, and Davenport is really cute.
I need to go there.
It's nice. I like the classy vibes, and it doesn't feel like El Paso is cool, but they bring like new elements that are like El Paso, but also like what's being done in other cities. For sure. You know, like modernizing the city a little bit more. And it's just very aesthetically pleasing and classy and cute. Yeah.
No, I like them a lot for sure. I like that's more my vibe. Like the more, don't get me wrong. Like I like to get lit here and there, but for the most part, I like the like super like just classy, nice ambience. Like there's a lot of like really good places popping up like that for sure.
Yeah.
How do you like living in San Francisco?
I like it a lot. Yeah. I like the city vibes, you know? I like...
Same.
It's freaking cool. And I also like that I can just walk around and be anywhere. And then there's people walking around. Everywhere I go, there's always people walking around. And I just walk across the street and I'm at a whole block of restaurants and coffee shops and places to go, like to shop or whatever it may be. So I really like that, especially because I didn't take my car out there because they have a really bad problem with, they call it bipping. So basically they break into your car and steal your stuff.
Oh, wow.
It's bad. So I got really scared about that. So I didn't take my car out there. Plus parking is horrendous.
But they have good public transportation now.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So that's why it's not too bad. I take the bus everywhere and it's not free, but low key it's free. You just like hop on, don't worry about it. So a little tip from me, if you go to San Francisco, you can go on the bus for free. But yeah, so it's really cool. I can just, and it's like actually really small too. Like
really,
yeah, it's a really, really small city.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize that.
But just very densely populated.
Exactly. Yeah. But you know, it's also the Bay Area too. So everything outside of San Francisco is, I mean, it's not San Francisco, but it's basically San Francisco. The whole Bay Area is kind of its own. For sure.
Place. Yeah, that's definitely my vibe. Like I always say, if I were to live anywhere, it'd be like New York.
Really?
But I want to go to San Francisco. I haven't been there yet. But I just love the fact of like just being able to walk places. And I love working at coffee shops. Like just being able to walk and just take public transportation. Because I don't know, it's just like here in El Paso, we're just so used to just driving everywhere.
Exactly. And you feel more involved with people. Like it's like, oh wow, we're actually with other human beings right now. You know? So it's cool. And you
definitely interact a lot more now that I think about it. Here, I feel like people are a little bit more like socially awkward. Like,
definitely. Yeah. You know what though, with New York, I love New York. Have you been there as well? Oh my God, it's a beautiful city. I don't like the cold though. So that's what made me not want to live in New York. I can't do the snow. I can't do the cold. It would make me so sad.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a good thing. I actually went in November, but it felt like it was like July when I went in New York. And I literally cannot get that trip out of my head just because.
I think I went in July, June or July.
Yeah. This past
not last year, but the year before.
Okay. Yeah. No, the city vibes is definitely. And another thing I noticed here is that it's probably one of the most least walkable cities I've ever lived in or ever been.
Here in El Paso.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Like I damn near. In the past 2 weeks, I've almost gotten hit running. Like it's pretty bad.
Oh my God!
It's just people aren't
not
aware
paying
of
attention.
It, you know?
Yeah, because they don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then they're probably cursing at you, like, "Why is he walking?"
Yeah, exactly. Why is he walking in the street right now? Like,
how dare you? How dare you? In El Paso? Yeah, right.
The audacity of this dude. No, for sure. That's how it be. And the food is like amazing. I heard in San Francisco.
Well, just because we're right by the ocean, so of course the seafood is But it's a little bit too fresh for me. And I think like that's just an issue with me. Like because I'm so used to eating food that's not fresh, you know? So I kind of like crave the fake crab sometimes. I just like that imitation crab so much that when I have the real stuff, I'm like, wow, this is crap. It's good though. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. Yeah, it's really, really good. Also just like other types of foods too. I live right by Chinatown. Okay. So I always go there for the noodles, oh my God.
I love Asian food, and I heard San Francisco's Asian food is like
the Thai food. Yeah. Yes. And then the aesthetics too, because sometimes I'll go and eat at restaurants that are right on the pier, and you'll see the little sea lions, and they're just like vibing, and then falling to the ocean, and then pooping into the water, and I'm like, wow, this is a vibe.
Yes, for sure.
We're vibing right now.
That's so cool. Yeah. What would you say to someone who like, because I mean, it's not the easiest thing. At least I've noticed, because I've experienced it. People that live in El Paso, it's like really hard to go and live in another city and like just stay there because it's for some reason. It's very, people are very family oriented here, and it's. But what's advice you would give to someone who's like been wanting to leave and been wanting to go explore that? And what do you think they can get from that?
Do it. You know, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. There's no shame in that. It doesn't mean you failed or you didn't succeed or anything like that. No, like you tried, and I think that's going to satisfy your heart enough. I think even for me, like eventually I do want to move to LA. That's like the main goal. The reason why I went to San Francisco is because the program that I want is only available in San Francisco. So I was like, well, close enough. But yeah, like I want to go to LA, but like LA's a whole different area, and if it doesn't work out, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, but I think just at least if you try and you go for it and you do your best, then you did the thing. You did a good job, you know, and be proud of yourself for that too. Because I think sometimes we're hard on ourselves if we think that, oh, it's going to be so difficult. I don't know if I can do it. You know, if you want to do it, you can make it happen. Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly put.
Mm-hmm.
What about LA? Is the music scene just very, like,
I just always heard about LA, you know, it's just the things you hear. Like that's just where all the celebrities are and everything. So now I have a different perspective about LA. I'm not sure about it anymore. And so that kind of hurts my inner child a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do want to at least try, go, see what it's like. Like I said, it's a little bit difficult because I do know people here where I can make music, and I honestly feel I could make more music here because it's so affordable and accessible, and like again, like I know them people here and I trust them and we work well together. In LA, I don't know, I already know it's going to be really expensive to like make music out there. So I've been thinking about that. I've also been thinking about how I can again make music pretty much anywhere. I don't have to be wired to LA. I think it's just like an inner child type of thing.
For sure.
Yeah. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I at least want to try it. Yeah.
I think it's
a beautiful city. The weather's beautiful. The beach.
Yeah.
You can't swim in the beach in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Super cold, right?
It's very cold. Yeah. So that stinks.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't see why not, you know.
Yeah.
If that's something that, I mean, there's a reason it's on your mind, you know, and something you want to do, and if you don't end up liking it, like I said, like what I always think about is you can always just move back.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel a little bit, because for the last like year, I would say I've been like really wanting to move to New York.
You should do it. Do you like the cold?
No, actually, but I'm not. I can adapt like pretty well.
It's temporary. Sagittarius. Nice.
Yeah, I'll adapt to it.
Yeah. It's temporary too. It's not like year round, so you'll be fine. Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's not like you said. It's kind of the same thing where you feel like you staying back here in El Paso, it's gonna allow you to just do more, like probably make more music because it's gonna be affordable and you already know people. With me, it's like I already have the studio. That's like, and granted, I can probably like get a lot more guests on like from other places if I were to move to like in New York, right? But I mean, just being able to have a studio there, and like first of all, the rent for just having like a small little apartment is gonna be like ridiculous, and then it's just a lot that goes into it that I've like that reality has kind of set in. But at the same time, like at some point I definitely would like to try and live there.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different ball game, but the opportunities that could be presented to you from being in a city like that, the experiences, the people that you'll meet, there's like a different breed of people out there. It's cool, you know. So for me, I love the fashion, I love Broadway, I love musical theater, so that's also what's always really attracted me to New York. There's just like, it's really cool.
Did you ever act?
Yeah. I used to, well, that was actually my minor in undergrad was theater. And then that has to do a little bit with expressive arts therapy, is a little bit of like drama and theatrics and those kinds of elements in there. I met my best friend actually through going to a studio. They were called LAT Studios. They offered. I remember. I remember that. They offer like singing classes and acting classes, and then they do showcases. I went to a camp there one time. Yeah, probably they'd be doing camps. Yeah. So they would do like little events and stuff for the kids, and like it was super fun. Yeah, you could do little monologues. I told you a little bit earlier, I did Viva El Paso. It's really nice. It's a recurring show that happens every single summer. And it's in McKilligan Canyon, and it basically tells you the history of El Paso, but done through this really cool play adaptation. And they have some singing, they have dancing, and it's like in a beautiful outdoor setting. So highly recommend you going. Yeah. Super, super fun. I love acting.
Yeah, that's so dope. I also saw that you were in cheer for a while.
Oh yeah, that was my life.
Yeah. You were doing that since you were little?
Oh yeah, I did that for like 10 years, maybe a little over 10 years. That was my life for a very, very long time. It was literally like school, go to practice, have no social life, do it again.
Yeah, KTC, right?
Oh, KTC.
Yeah, because my little cousin, I don't know if I mean, they have them up till like they're 18 years old, right? Like,
Yeah. Sometimes, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they also have a team where you can do it when you're over 18 as well. It's a specific team. Yeah. Super cool.
And just like seeing her, she like just the competitions that she goes to, and like it's just a whole, it's a
world.
It's a thing.
It's like a community. Heck yeah. It's like, oof. I loved it so much. I love performing. That's my thing. Practices, not too much. Practicing's cool or whatever. But like I mainly did it because I just love being on stage. Like I love showing my skills. It's also like a work ethic thing too. Like it teaches you so much. Like I was realizing I just learned so much from being in cheer, like time management skills, working with a team, like showing up for others, being organized, like, little things like that. And I don't know, just like the dedication and the ability to push yourself to do things that you don't think your body can do, like I was tumbling like every single day for hours and hours and hours. And I just remember being in so much pain, but like, not like, it wasn't that bad because I was a little teenager. Like, I don't know if I could still do that now, but like it was like I was sore all the time, but like it was for a greater purpose and it was worth it. It was always worth it. Like I don't regret that at all. Super fun.
Yeah. No, it definitely looks like a really like, it's people, they take it very serious, and like it's very it's super demanding, like I heard on the,
and it's competitive, which feeds my Aries energy. We're also competitive. Are you competitive? Oh yeah. I like to win.
So just like on a family game night, like you.
Oh yeah, I'm winning. Be on my team because we're going to win for sure.
That's cool. I like that. I'm super competitive. Sometimes I shouldn't be in certain things, but it's like just something you just can't help it.
Oh
sometimes.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Are you in a relationship?
I am. Yes. Yeah. My boyfriend. His name's Matt.
Awesome. How long have you guys been together?
About 6 months. I think it's been now.
Yeah. And how'd you guys meet each other?
We actually met through a dating app.
Oh, really?
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Cool. Yeah.
But I like to say it though too, because I'm like, like some hope out there for some people. Because
I noticed that here in El Paso, like in every other city, dating apps are like normal, commonplace. Here, I feel like people look down on it. Yeah,
it's
like,
weird.
It's kind of weird.
Oh, I look down on it too. Sometimes even when I said it, I was like, well, it's embarrassing. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, even in San Francisco, I get asked all the time, "Are you on the apps? Are you on the apps?" Well, before I met my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And that's just like a super common question that anybody asks. Like, it's just like, yeah. What you have for lunch? Are you on that?
Type thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like...
it's smaller here.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. You'll probably see like all your friends on there. Like,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So how do you feel like dating... maybe you'll have a different perspective because you're in a relationship. But how do you feel like dating has changed nowadays?
Well, I think for me, I'm going to think about how I was before I was in a relationship and how I view dating. And I think this was something that I really, really had to work on and realize. Because for a really, really long time, I was viewing men to be a certain way. I was viewing men as like, oh, men are trash. Men aren't loyal. Men are this. Men are that. And by putting out that energy... that's all I was going to get. Not only because like I was literally putting it out and that's what I'm going to attract energetically, but also because like that's the first thing you learn about in psychology class is confirmation bias. You're going to be actively looking for that.
Yeah.
Whether you consciously know it or not, if you think men are this certain way and you say that about men, it's exactly what you're going to get. Vice versa with women too. If you think of women to be cheaters and crazy and emotional, you're going to get that type of woman, unfortunately. So it was definitely about transforming my mindset when it came to men.
Was that from past experiences?
Yeah, and just I think like social media had a lot to do with it too. Like so many women were just saying things like, oh, like men are this and men are that. And I was like, yeah, they are, just anger. I'm an Aries and I'm not. No, like, yeah. And so I was just like feeding into it,
For sure. You get a little hyped
out.
Yeah,
and that's not good for you. Like there's no point in thinking that certain way about relationships. Like if you think relationships are going to be that difficult for you because you think this way about the opposite sex or the same sex, like you're going to get that. You're going to be looking for that, and it's just again energetically what's going to come to you. So you kind of have to change your mentality about how you view other people And you have to be more compassionate and empathetic. And I think that's what we're missing nowadays is we've lost compassion for other people. You know, we look at social media and we look at how a person is and we think, oh, I know them. I know how they are. This is how they are. All right, I don't like them. I'm just write them off. And then we don't even get to know them for who they are. We don't even get to know their whole person. Or, oh, there's this girl at the bar. Oh, she's at the bar. So this is how I think of her. I'm going to write her off. She's at the bar. You know what I mean? Like, and we're neglecting to really think about the person that exists beyond just this one judgmental thought that you have about the person. So I think that's why it's more difficult nowadays for people, and for me too, for a really long time, because I was single for a really, really long time before I met my boyfriend. And I think that's why, because I had that mentality and I was so mean. Not like outwardly, like wasn't mean to people, but like in my head, like, and I think people can hear your thoughts too. Like, I think if you're going to think some way about somebody, again, energetically, subconsciously, they can feel that. You're not going to get anything good if you're always thinking negative about a man, you know?
Yeah. So you'd say you're probably a little bit more defensive, like.
Oh, yeah.
Before, yeah.
And I think, like things I've seen on social media, I've experienced a little bit like here and there with my own personal traumas. So yeah, I think it was just an accumulation of both and different types of things. So
how do you feel like because one thing is like you're aware of, it seems like you're very self-aware of, like, especially of your thoughts and like your feelings and stuff. How would you feel someone like can really just like, what's the best thing for someone to be able to, like, if they're aware of what they feel like whenever they're talking to somebody or getting into a relationship, but they know they have like past traumas or maybe influencing them, like how can they kind of like start to kind of overcome that? What do you feel like?
I think what a lot of people might think too is that since they're not completely healed yet, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. I don't think that's true. To an extent, yeah, like definitely work on yourself, and you know, you do want to show up to be the best person that you can be for somebody else. But I also think that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself too. Yeah. You know, like if you're constantly thinking, oh, I can't be in a relationship yet because I need to be this type of way, or I need to lose this amount of weight, or I need to, like, you know, like it's a lot of pressure. So I don't think you need to accomplish some sort of goal to be in a relationship or to be ready, you know? I think as long as you're actively working towards it and you're trying your best and you're doing what you need to do as far as like trying to be a better person, we all have good intentions. We're not like walking around being bad people, you know? Like I try to see the best in people, and I think people just need to realize that they need to see the best in themselves as well. For sure. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's like super, super hard on myself, you know? So I think it's just that, like realizing your own worth, realizing your own potential, and being compassionate not only towards other people, but towards yourself. The more you do that, I think the other things will just naturally come towards you.
For sure. Yeah, that's one thing. I feel like we just kind of lost like that, like you said, compassion, and just like we don't really see each other as like human beings, you know, for the humans like we are. It's just, I guess, because first of all, like social media, like it's just everything is online. So like, let's just say you see somebody like through your phone, like you're just not going to have that same, like people are much more inclined to say something negative through like on social media, but and like who's going to do that? Like very rarely is that going to be like done in person, you know?
Oh yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I think just people have, we've just kind of lost touch with reality in that way, where like this is another human being and they have like feelings and they have a family and they have a mom and dad and just like everything like that, you know,
and just their own like life experiences. I mean, we've all gone through different types of experiences that have made us who we are today. You know, you might look at somebody who's older and think, oh, they're such an a-hole, I hate them, whatever it may be, but at one point they were a 7-year-old and maybe they got abused, and you know, maybe something happened to them that was very traumatic, and you know, like you said, we just fail to humanize people anymore. That's what scares me about being famous too. Like cancel culture nowadays for any little thing, any little mistake that anybody makes, and just creating this like whole narrative in your head about how you perceive a celebrity, and it scares me. It scares me a lot. So that's why it's also kind of detering me from, I don't know if that's a word, but like, you know, wanting to sway away from wanting to be famous, because it's scary. It's really scary the way the internet is nowadays. I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know. I want to say I can, and I want to say I don't care what people think, but You know,
yeah,
it's a flood of people saying a certain thing about me. Sometimes it's hard not to listen, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's very hard to kind of avoid that. I wonder if you can like, because what I hear is like a lot of people that like become famous, they kind of start losing touch with like just like reality, like because I guess they just don't.
It's like a whole world for them. Like I couldn't even imagine.
And I wonder if like what's the best way to like if you're rising into that, like if it's you can combat that in a certain way of just like continuing to like but it's just hard, like you say. I was gonna say like continuing to just be who you are, but at the same time, like not that you change, but in a way you kind of have to just to be able to like adapt with, like I think when people say, like for example, if someone succeeds or like they make a lot of money and someone says they changed, like maybe that's the case, but could they have stayed the same? You know, like could they have
you ever seen BoJack Horseman?
No, I haven't. No.
Good show.
Yeah.
So BoJack Horseman is about this horse who's famous.
Yeah.
And there's a quote in that show where they say exactly that. They say that when you become famous and you reach a certain age, basically that's it for you. You don't age anymore. If you become famous at 13, you're going to basically be 13 mentally forever, because you no longer have that ambition and like thrive to like, or that drive to grow anymore, because you've already succeeded. You've already basically hit your peak. I think of Justin Bieber all the time. Like, I don't know, sorry to call you out, JB, but if we ever collab, I'm down. But you know, like like things like that. Like that was a quote they said. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was that like this singer hit a certain age and she's basically stayed that way mentally forever because she no longer needed to grow. You know, she already kind of hit her thing. I'm sure that doesn't happen just with celebrities. I'm sure that happens with many people who become successful overnight, like whether with their business or whatever it may be. But then that's when you start seeing people who are older who still have that childlike mentality because they haven't felt the need to grow and transform and work on themselves anymore. Also, when you're surrounded by people who are always constantly praising you and thinking you're so great, you just think, oh, well, I'm great. I don't need to change anymore. Yeah. So I can imagine that definitely happens with celebrities. Yeah. So I always wanted to be a child star, but now I'm like, maybe not.
A lot of them are really fucked up in the head, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah. It's really, really sad. I mean, you just hear about so many sad stories that are happening to celebrities, whether it be alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and it's just, it's a struggle. I feel like I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for famous people as well, because I can just imagine being in that bubble and being in that world, having so many people praise you, but also having so many people hate you. And then, I don't know, it's a lot. It seems like a lot.
For sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think of a childhood celebrity that like turned out pretty good or all right, you know?
Hilary Duff.
Is she good right now?
She's doing great. Cool? Yeah.
What about Selena Gomez?
She's doing good.
Well, she wasn't like super. How old was she? Yeah.
She was little. She was little. Maybe 13. She was on Barney. So she was already hanging out with Barney at the age of 6.
She turned out good. She turned
out good.
I think she's had her problems.
I'm sure too. Yeah. But like, I don't think anything super, super extreme that we see that it's like headlining. It's hard. I don't even know what to believe anymore when it comes to what people are saying about celebrities nowadays. But yeah. Yeah,
for sure. And I could see that. Like, I think I guess that's one reason why, like you say, like people talk about like it can be a little bit discouraging when like you're kind of working towards something and it seems like it's just taking so long for you to actually like get where you want to be. But at the same time, that's probably, I think slow success is probably the best thing for anybody.
It's kind of the best part I've heard too. Like just the journey itself is what really, I said this before, but really drives people. And then when you reach that peak and you reach that top, you're like, okay, what now? Us naturally as human beings, I feel that's how we are, like, you know. So it's the ambition, it's the feeling that you have a purpose when it comes to like wanting to accomplish something. I think that's what really allows us to feel good about ourselves, not so much getting there, you know. I mean, that's great too. Like if you're able to accomplish what you want to accomplish and succeed, like of course that's what we're all hoping for. But I don't think that's everything either. Like I don't think that makes you more so of a person once you reach this level of success. It's the journey and what you did to get there.
For sure.
That I think is more important sometimes than we need to recognize more.
Yeah, we lose sight of that for sure. But yeah, you have some of your best moments when like you're not,
you maybe haven't even accomplished what you're going for yet, but like it's like when you're like you can be on a high where it's just like I feel like I'm getting there, you know. I
yeah.
feel like
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
and then sometimes you end up accomplishing what you envisioned, and like it's cool, but you're immediately on to like, all right, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Yeah. Or sometimes you might think, oh, that wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Like, unfortunately, that just happens sometimes. So yeah, I think just having grace with yourself and things like that happen. But
does that happen like just because expectations, or like
maybe.
Is it but is it I feel like you should have expectations though. Like you should have good expectations, you know. One thing I kind of like I get nervous about, or something I think about recently, is like I think the only thing that scares me a little bit about like just more and more like success, because obviously it's still very early on, right? And like but I definitely want it to grow, and like especially like the podcast and everything like that. However, I felt it a little bit, even though it hasn't been like that long, you know, where it's you almost get a little bit more pressure to feel like you have to perform.
Yeah.
You know, that pressure that comes along for like from just like wanting things to or especially when like you're creating something, you want it to be good and you want it to continue to like resonate with people. But sometimes like once you start to see that little bit of success, it's like, all right, how can I replicate it? And then that's
make it better, like the pressure to make it even more.
And then the pressure, that's how the pressure starts to come. And it's just like, I've definitely felt that a little bit. And it's just like, I wonder how to combat that and just what that is like for people, you know?
Yeah, I completely get that. I think it's easy in the beginning because we kind of go into things with a beginner mentality, and we're okay with that because we're embracing it and we're saying, yeah, like I'm new at this, I'm a beginner, like, you know, and you're more easy on yourself when it comes to that because, you know, you're thinking as is like, oh, I'm like barely starting, like whatever it may be. And then once you keep going, you're like, oh no, like you said, the pressure starts to come forward. And I don't know, I don't even have an answer to that because I think that's something I still think about as well. It's definitely a big thing.
I mean, think about it. What if you put out just like a hit, right? And then the next time it's like, fuck, like what do I do? Like, how do I you know? And I just think, at least from I mean, I haven't been through it yet, but what first comes to mind is like you just have to continue to do the things that got you to that point, you know?
Yeah, I think just remembering why you did it in the first place and keeping your mentality in that area and like trying not to sway too far from that is the best way of action. It's easier said than done, but yeah, I think just like trying to remember that the reason why I'm doing this is because I genuinely enjoy doing it, you know, and try to remember that I'm not doing this for other people. Yes, it is nice to have people say, hey, you're doing a good job, and like get the I can't think of the word,
validation.
Yeah, that's a good one. Get the validation. So yeah, just remembering why you're doing it in the first place and that it's something that you enjoy and that you love, and
also having good people around you, you know. I think like that's just true. Having that's a big one, because especially people that kind of hold you accountable, you know. Do you have someone that like kind of like that you go to, like if you're putting out a song, like do you have someone that listens to it first?
Oh yeah, my best friend Russell. My best friend Russell, my boyfriend too. I'll always show them immediately. My grandma. Yeah, those are like the first 3 people that I'm like, listen to this now. Stop what you're doing and listen. Yeah, and it's just like, it's so amazing when you get to share something that you worked so hard on, and then you get to show it to the people you love. And they're just so supportive of me, and yeah, so they're the first people that I show. My friend Asul too, she makes music as well, so we're always going back and forth with ideas. Yeah, so it's cool because we have like-minded interests. She's the one who I was talking about too, who we both attended LAT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, super cool.
Yeah. How do you feel when you're about to put a song out? Like, do you kind of feel nervous?
Oh yeah. I think I don't necessarily feel nervous actually when I'm putting it out, just because it doesn't feel as like intense. Like I get more nervous when I'm on stage because I can actually see the people in front of me, and I'm like, oh dang, they're actually listening to me right now. It doesn't feel as real when I'm putting out a song, and I think that's just because I don't get a lot of people viewing it yet, so it doesn't feel as like crazy. I can imagine though again, the pressure that it might be when more people are really streaming and listening in and making comments. And
so for like the music, like how does it work? Like what's the main goal that you're trying to achieve? Like what's the best way to kind of start just getting more ears on your music? Is it, I mean, just releasing like music videos on social media, or like is that a big thing? Like how does that work?
Yeah, just like marketing myself more. I mean, doing things like this is really exciting too. So I just try to create as much content as I can with things surrounding my music, and like the goal, I guess, is like, oh, maybe this one will go viral, you know? So that's kind of my approach with it right now. And just like putting it out there, because if I just put my song on Spotify, like, hopefully people will listen to it, but more than likely not.
Does Spotify have an algorithm where like you can actually start getting pushed to like other people that may not have followed you from other social medias? Like, can they find you through Spotify?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope so. That'd be freaking cool. I mean, it has to. I don't know. I don't even know how Spotify works. I honestly have no idea. I hope they freaking do that, because dang, what the heck? So I don't even know. But I could tell you that if I put out a song on Spotify and I'm not promoting it, I'm probably not going to get a lot of views. But it's up to me, or streams. So it's up to me to really talk about it again and again and again and again on social media. But it's hard. It's like a lot. It takes up a lot of your time.
For sure. Have you put out an album?
Not yet.
No.
Very soon. Yes, I actually just solidified the name that I want to have for it. It's called Know Your Worth.
Ooh,
and I should have like realized it from the very beginning, because I've always had that as my Instagram bio for years. So it just makes sense. Know your worth. I liked that a lot. I think I realized that after my performance on Thursday. I was feeling kind of down on myself, because as I mentioned before, I think I did good, but there was parts that I wish I could have done better. And so I was just thinking about that a lot and thinking, hey, know your worth, girl.
For sure.
So that's my first album, and it'll come out, I don't know when, but soon.
I'll be looking forward to it. Is that your favorite quote, would you say? Know your worth?
I think so. Yeah, I think because that's like a main thing that I've struggled with, and like in regards to it being a theme in my life, is the idea of worthiness and feeling like I'm enough. Am I talented enough? Am I smart enough? Am I talking enough? Am I good? You know, like things like that. So that was just something that I was really navigating and trying to work on a lot. And so that was just something that I had to keep reminding myself and telling myself, know your worth, you're doing good, remember who you are. And that's it. Yeah.
What is advice you'd give to someone who's going through like a tough time?
That's a big one. I feel like it's very personal, and I think it depends on who I'm talking to. I don't know if I have a specific saying that I can say to someone, but I do know that as long as I'm there for them and I'm making it known that I will support them and help them out and do whatever it is that they need me to do that is for them, I'll do it. You know, I want to also say like, you know, it'll get better, you know, I don't know. I just feel so cheesy saying things like that though, but you know, it will. Like, it may seem hard right now, but things will get better eventually. But I'm here for you. Whatever you need, I will be there. And that's probably the main thing for me, is just, being there. Because at least that's how I would feel if I was going through a hard time, I would just want somebody to just be a physical presence for me.
For sure. No, I like that. I was listening to this, I don't know how I came across, but like it was this talk on... It was this dude. He was, I guess he's like a motivational speaker or like a pastor or whatever. But he was talking about, he's like, as long as you make sure that someone else is okay, like someone else is okay in their own life, like you're making sure that they're okay, you're gonna be okay, like no matter what. It's not exactly word for word how he said it, but like as soon as he said that, I was like, dude, like that. I mean, that makes so much sense, you know? I guess just because the more I think about it, I guess that just provides so much, like, meaning to someone's life. I think that's where a lot of it comes from, is making sure that, like, I guess, like, the more responsibility you have for someone, even though it can be, like, kind of stressful, it can be a little bit much at times, like, it's very fulfilling in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, people count on you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to know that people are always there and supporting you and cheering you on, even though it's hard for you to cheer yourself on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know, we're human beings, and we definitely do well when it comes to being around other people. Something I learned about actually in one of my classes was that people, when they were older, they were maybe in their 60s to 70s.
Mm-hmm.
They were dying really quickly. And that was because they didn't have family. They weren't like communicating to people. They weren't talking to people. Versus they had this other group who was actively like being around family, being around a community. It didn't even have to necessarily be family, but just like being around people.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be around other people, you know? Like, that's just how we are. Like, even when back in the caveman days, like, if you weren't in a group, you were going to die. You couldn't like survive on your own. Like, you had to be in a group all the time. So that's just how we naturally are. They also did that study with babies too, and these babies they had everything that they needed. They were being fed, they were being given like a warm place to be, they were able to sleep, but they weren't given love. Like, they didn't have their mom and dad. It was just a nurse changing their diaper, leaving, feeding them, leaving, you know? And they died.
Wow.
Yeah, all of them.
Wow.
All of them died. Yeah, I don't know where the study was, but look it up.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would search. Babies dying. I don't know. Don't search that. Sorry. Don't search that. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was very, very sad.
Some people knocking on your door, right?
No, I know. Cut that out. Yeah, but no. It was really sad, because even though they were given all their basic necessities, like, they just passed away because they weren't given love and the human touch and whatever it may be. So,
I mean, yeah, I can see that 100%. Like, it's one thing I notice is like when I'm like I'm like in a little funk. A lot of the times it's because like I haven't like interacted with someone in a while, or like just really had a talk, or just like, I think this actually helps me a lot, because I'm actually like, I have a talk like this every single week.
Oh yeah.
Almost every single week, sometimes 2 times a week. But like, I think it's just really helped me in that way where, and like sometimes when I'm just down and like I'm just in my thoughts, I'm like, dude, I think I just need to freaking just be around, talk to someone. Yeah. Doesn't have to be what I'm going through, but just like, if we were just having a conversation, you just have the presence. It's so big. Like, you don't realize it. Yeah.
No, exactly. And especially like you said, it doesn't have to necessarily be about what you're going through, but that too, sometimes I'm very passive aggressive sometimes. Like, I bottle things up, and even if something's bothering me, I won't let the person know. That's so bad for you. Like, you have to let the other person know, or at least like, I don't know, write it out or get it out somehow, or talk to somebody else about it. If you bottle it up, it's not good for you. Yeah. So yeah, communication, being around other people. Yeah.
For sure. Do you have any questions or topics that you want to cover?
I don't know. Oh my gosh.
Do you have any questions for me?
I did not prepare this, actually.
No worries.
What is your overall goal? Like, what is like your main thing that you want to accomplish? Like, one big dream that you want to do, whether it's for this podcast, career. What's one big goal that you have?
I like that. I would say when it comes to the podcast, like I guess when they're talking like tangible goals, because sometimes I'm not very like I'm not very direct, and like just like what I just have little glimpses and like visions and feelings of what I want it to be, but sometimes like I just need to do better of like pinpointing exactly what. But I think I've obviously like I just want to grow it obviously to a wider audience. That's the main thing. That's kind of like right now what I'm trying to do, right? But ultimately I kind of want to eventually like kind of make it into more of like a platform for other podcasters, maybe other artists, like just being able to have a place of like just being able to uplift other like talented like creators and stuff, whether that's in El Paso or just like, I mean, US or worldwide, you know, just being able to like have a platform that I'm able to like provide resources to like other people, you know.
That's awesome.
I guess that's the main thing. What else? Honestly, like just like something just when it comes to life. I would say just like making an impact, you know, just being a positive light for like somebody, you know. And lately a lot of it's been family. Like I've been thinking about it, like I actually really want, like I just want a really dope, like just an awesome healthy like family. You know,
that's really,
and that's kind of weird. Like it's
not weird.
I would have never thought of me like just saying that, but
you're
no,
a family
like,
person. Yeah,
no, for sure. Like, and
it's the Mexican in you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I guess just because it's my I get that from like my mom and dad, and
of course.
We're very close, and I've been thinking about a lot lately. I just want to build that, you know. How about you?
Oh wow, that was so sentimental. I don't even know how to follow that. Family, god dang. What was the question? Oh, my main goal.
Yeah.
Oof. Now I'm in the hot seat. I don't know.
Let's just get the Grammy out of the way.
Right. No. Yeah. Definitely a Grammy. Definitely an Oscar or two. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for a long time, the main thing that I wanted to accomplish was to be a singer. Like, that was it.
Well, you did it.
And I did it. No, you're completely correct. Yeah, I definitely. But I think, like, you know, mainstream famous singer was always like in my head.
Yeah.
Now I don't even know if that's like my main goal anymore. Like, I am having so much fun doing what I'm doing now, and like you said, like, yeah, I am a singer, and that counts as something, you know. As I'm getting more into my degree, I am so in love with being a therapist, or I haven't done it yet, but just what I've been learning so far. I want to eventually work with kids when it comes to expressive arts therapy, and I want to be able to help people not only help themselves, but through doing that, you're able to help and heal society, you know. Like, every person you come across, like, you can either show that through who you are being, through your aura, through whatever it may be, and have an impact on that other person. You know, if you're positive and you've learned something in therapy and that you can translate that onto somebody else, it causes a ripple effect, you know. So I want to be able to really have an impact on society, or at least just one individual person, and allow them to learn more about themselves and realize that they're okay being exactly who they are. Maybe they haven't reached a certain goal or a certain like milestone or whatever it may be, but just allowing people to realize you are okay as you are, and you don't have to judge yourself for that, you know? So
how do you, sorry, because I want to get on that point. How do you balance, what's a balancing act between like knowing that like you are okay as you are, and like that you're that you shouldn't judge yourself, but there are things you need to work on and improve. Like, what do you think? Like, I always think about that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think that the balancing is?
No. I think like it's about knowing that you can still evolve and grow, but I think it's just about the judgment that you put on yourself. And that's the difference, you know, because for me, I'm just thinking about my perspective, but for a long time, I was just thinking, well, because you haven't completely reached a way of not being anxious anymore, you're not good enough. You haven't reached that yet, so you're not good enough, you know. You have to take away that judgment, you know. So I think that's like the main thing that comes up for me, is just erasing that heavy set of judgment on you and realizing that I'm okay the way I am. Yes, there's improvement, and yes, I'm going to work towards it, but I'm also okay, you know, because I'm working towards it, and I don't have to be so mean at myself just because I haven't accomplished it yet. Does that make sense? I don't know if I explained that well.
I think that's what I would say, you know. It's just like you said, I think it's just that even though like you could be on the path to like just becoming a better person and doing the things you know you're capable of and you know that you want to do, however, it can really affect you, because I've been through it. It's that judgment you place on yourself of like knowing that you're not where you want to be, and that's what kind of I think it can slow you down even more if you have that negative like just self-talk and judgment on yourself. And you don't have to. That's the thing. Like, you can, and the pressure. Exactly. I was going to say. You can relieve yourself of that, just from understanding that like what's gonna happen, like what's meant to be is meant to be. And as long as you're doing what you can control, like everything else is like you just kind of have to, I think it's just how you have to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. Like your thoughts are going to arise, and thoughts that you don't want, but it's just kind of knowing that they're not valid and knowing that like you can move past them and just, I guess most of the time just having a positive outlook on your life and what you're doing,
And nothing's permanent. I mean, the way you are right now and the identity that you're holding on to right now, like that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be that person forever. I mean, the person I was 5 years ago, I'm nothing like that person, Sometimes you have to let go of the stories you told yourself and the narratives you told yourself and the lies that you've told yourself, So yeah, like you said, just alleviating that pressure, and we're all trying our best, and that's all we could do.
Literally. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Welcome to my TED Talk.
For real. What's your love language?
Ooh, what is my love language? Acts of service.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
I love a gentleman, and I love when people do things for me. I love just like chilling out and like, I just think it's really sweet when people do more of an effort to like, I don't know, like for example, if I have my coat on and I need help taking it off, oh, that was really sweet that you helped me take it off. Or like, I don't know, helping me put things away, like, oh, you saw I was struggling, like let me go and help you. Okay. Like things like that, like it's really sweet. I noticed those types of things. Yeah. And quality time. I love spending time with people, hanging out. What about you?
I think it's I like gift giving.
Nice.
And then just I think words of affirmation are pretty big.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty big.
Love languages are so fun. I love that because it's so true that how we show our love may be different from somebody else, and I think that's really important. My boyfriend, his words of affirmation, and you know what, I realized that I used to think mine was words of affirmation, and I realized I don't do it enough. So that's something that I had to like learn and adapt to because that's just how he shows and likes to receive love. So yeah, it's just interesting how we're all so different.
For sure. We are all very different.
And also very similar.
Exactly. So what do you have going on lately or recently or in the near future that you want people to like know about?
So when I go back to school, it's going to be all about school.
Well, it's like in the next week, right?
Yeah, I go back tomorrow, actually. I'm going to be on a plane tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I go on my orientation retreat on Thursday. So that's something that we do at the beginning of every semester. And I start my internship for the first time. So that's when I'm really going to be like solidifying everything that I've been learning and seeing if it is for me. So that's very scary.
Yeah.
With music, I think that's like one of my New Year's resolutions is to write songs, not when I'm about to come back home for the holidays. Like, okay, maybe we don't need to put so much pressure on myself when it comes to that. Like, I do want to make more music. I want to come out with my album by the end of the year for sure. And I think that's probably one of the main big things for me. Eventually, I do want to move to LA as well. That's probably going to happen maybe in 2 years, maybe in a year and a half, in 2 years. And hopefully it all works out because that's the goal.
Yeah.
But my boyfriend likes Arizona, so I think I'm going to try LA for a while, and then if it doesn't work out, it's okay. Or if like, I don't know, honestly, I don't think I'll like it all that much. Like I think like, again, it's just me fulfilling like the inner child in me.
Yeah.
I like Arizona. Have you been to Arizona?
Yeah, I actually lived there. I went to Arizona State
University.
Wait,
what?
Yeah.
What were you studying?
Psychology, actually.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
sure.
What were you minoring in, or were there minors?
Just psychology. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I lived in downtown Phoenix. I lived in Tempe.
Wow.
Yeah, Phoenix is dope.
I love Arizona, and I didn't realize how much I loved it until like he has family out there, and I have family out there too, but when I was visiting them, it was more when I was younger, so I didn't really like, appreciate it for what it was. It is a very beautiful city. Oh, it's so bougie too. And I'm a bougie girl, so I like it. It's really nice. And I like the heat too. Like I know it's like controversial to say, but I don't mind the heat.
Yeah,
so.
Me neither, honestly. Yeah. I'd much rather be in scorching heat than like the cold, super cold weather,
Where else have you traveled to? Have you traveled a lot?
Yeah, I have actually. I've been to Thailand.
What?
That was like
wow.
that was my most recent like big not international, because I went to Canada. I went to Canada earlier this year, and then I was there for like maybe a month and a half last year. Stayed with my cousin out there. So yeah, I've done a little bit of travel.
Is that like your number one place, Thailand, or what's your number one place you've been to?
Ooh, Thailand was just insane. It's definitely the most memorable because I was alone out there, and like it was a solo travel. I was there for like a month and a half. So
the food must have been incredible.
Oh my gosh, like,
Thai food?
I had never tried Thai food until I went to Thailand. Yeah.
Wow. What an experience that must have been. Amazing.
That's why I want to go to San Fran, because I heard the Thai food's like really good.
Yeah, and there's like a place right by me, that and a Korean corn dog place. Have you had a Korean corn dog?
I have.
Yo.
I've heard of it.
Yo. Don't have them here. Don't have them anywhere. Go to San Francisco and have them there. They're so freaking good. Yeah.
No, I mean, definitely want to do more traveling soon. But we'll see. If I'm ever in San Fran, I'll definitely definitely link up with you. You can show me around.
I'll show you all the food places. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. What's like the number one place you want to go to
right now?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's always New York, but I would say anything else. I've been wanting to go to Japan for a while.
Nice. I've been saying they have those little capsule hotels. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I've seen
those.
That's
so cute. Yeah, they're like in a little thing. I don't know if I would do it, but I think
no, for sure.
I have too much stuff that I take with me and clothes. I couldn't do it, but I think that was
for
cute.
Sure. Yeah. I would say Europe for sure. Just
everywhere.
South America, anywhere really. I'm good with anywhere.
Yeah, you like to explore. It's a Sagittarius
for
in you.
Sure.
Very cool.
But yeah, this is gonna be episode 26 of The Most Vulnerable Player. With Ali Stars. Yes. I'll just call you Ali Stars.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And this is gonna be on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, all that. So definitely go support. We're manifesting right now. She's gonna drop her first album this year.
It's going to happen.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.